What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy something. Hit the keys here today to show you guys 5 tips on how to make those kick drums slap a little bit harder. Make sure if you guys like this content, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so every time we drop new content, you can be the first to know. But let's get right into it. Something. Hit the keys. All right, so this is basically the beat that I'm going to use to start off with, to use this demonstration with. I haven't done anything to the kick drum. I'm just going to let it play, and then we're going to go from there. So here we go. All right, so that's just a little sample what we're going to be working with today. I'm just going to highlight a little section of it. And so basically, the first tip that I have for y'all is, like everybody says it, it should be common sense, but it's not so common to everybody, and I get it, but it's to use good sounds. So if you start off using a good sound right off the jump, then you're going to have it's not going to take so much work to try to EQ it and do all this extra stuff to try to make the sound good. So I'm going to give you guys 2 different drums, and you'll be able to tell just the sound or the kick that I'm using off the jump. It just makes it easier to start. It's an easier palette to start painting with, I guess, if that makes sense. So here's the kick that I'm using initially. So granted, it needs some work, but what if I just use this other kick? So you see, you can barely hear the other kick in the beat. So it would take more work in order to make that kick work with the beat. So if you just pick out a good sound to start off with, that's half your battle. And then adding some effects and all that other stuff, like my guy Bagonzo said the other day, that's part of the game. The effects is part of the game, but that basic step will make your sound selection so much easier, I guess. Tip number 2, with Fruity Loops or FL Studio, you can come into your pre-computed effects and you can boost the volume of the actual kick. So you can make the kick clip without putting a soft clip or anything on there. So like if you look at this and then you watch as I boost it, it's making it clip. So you can get that clip sound by just boosting, over here in your pre-computed effects. So I'm going to go ahead and play the beat, and I'm going to raise this up a little bit. I would also raise the EQ so that you get some more of the frequencies in the mid-range and the high range to make the kick stand out more. But just listen as I raise the boost here. So you hear just doing those 2 little steps alone just boosted that kick drum and made it slap. And so I didn't have to do anything else to it. I can just use that in my beat with no side chaining, no nothing. So that's something that you should look into. It doesn't work with every single kick drum, and it's not going to work every time. That's why I'm showing you guys 5 different tips, because sometimes one tip may not work. So you want to figure out another way to make it slap. Well, I'm going to show you 5 of them. So let's keep going. Another one to go along with this category is velocity. A lot of times people don't mess with the velocity of their drums. So messing with the velocity of your drum, let's go ahead and make this kick go back to what it was. Messing with the velocity is going to mess with how hard the kick actually hits. So you can raise the velocity of just different kicks, and that's going to give your beat a different feel. It's going to give it some highs, it's going to give it some lows, so just listen, and I'll raise the velocity down here at the bottom. So that right there just made the kick stand out a little more. So that's tip number 2 for you. Make sure you guys check the pre-computed effects and check your velocities. So tip number 3 is, throw a soft clipper on the master track. I know you guys hear a lot of people tell you to do that, but it honestly does help. So here's what the kick's gonna sound like before the soft clipper, and then I'm gonna play without it. So that's without the soft clipper, and here's with the soft clipper. So it makes it a little louder. Or what else you can do is you can put a soft clipper on the actual track of the drum. And so that way you can just control the clipping of the drum. So I have 2 of them. So again, we'll just play it, and then we'll play with the soft clipper on there so you can hear the difference. Now with these soft clippers, I've done reviews on both these soft clippers. So I'll have a card up in the corner over here. And basically they've got, settings that you can go through, default settings that you can go through. So I'm not going to spend the time going through how to set up the soft clipper because I've already done that in previous videos, and you can just check that right up there in the corner. There's another one here that's a little more in depth. This Kashmir Essentials kick, and you can just control, lows, mids, highs, the transient, the tape, 2 different compressions, the width. But again, we'll play with and without it, so you can just hear. So just adding those little tools onto your kick drum just makes your kick stand out and slap so much harder, The next one that I got for you would be you can side chain your kick drum to your 808. So basically what that's going to do is that, let's say this is where the beat starts. All right. So this is your first measure of the first beat. Okay. So your kick drum's going to sit right here. Right. And your 808 normally sits right here. Basically what I'm doing is moving the 808 over just this much so that the kick hits and then the 808 slides right in, if that makes sense. I'm leaving that much room from where the bar starts to where the kick hits to where the 808 hits. And that makes the kick hit so much harder coming in because it lets the kick stand out by itself. Kicks and 808s, they share the same frequency. So I'll just go ahead and let you guys hear that. So I have it over here. I don't have it set up. So basically you're going to come over here to your limiter. You're going to hit your compression and your side chain. And then, you can mess with the ratio, the knee, and the threshold. So just listen to it as I make it go. We're just going to solo those 2 so you can hear it. So I want you to listen to it without. Now with. So there's a difference. You can hear how hard the kick drum hits when it first comes in. It's hitting a little harder. And what else you can do is you can put some EQ on your kick, and you can cut out some of the lower end frequencies, and that'll make it stand apart from the 808 a little more also. So I don't know if you can hear that little subtle difference, but all these little tips mixed together is how you can make your kick drum just stand out in the track. So another thing that you can do is just layer the kicks. So when you layer the kicks, basically you just add another kick, but you can lower the level on which you have that kick at. So you can have one kick at 100%, the other kick at 50%, and then you can pull that layer in and out of the beat when you want to make the beat have its ups and its downs, when you want to make it hit harder for the chorus, when you want to make it, you know what I'm saying, a little more mellow for a bridge or something like that. But that's another thing that you can do. So we'll just play part of the beat with one kick, and then I'll add that extra layer in. All right, so that's one layer, and here's with another layer. So, I mean, those are just different things that you can do in order to make your kicks stand out or make them punch a little more or make them hit a little harder. So I appreciate the time you guys gave me today. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like and notification bell. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.